I've been intending this for weeks to be first, so I appreciate this confirmation. I know not to now ask an out-of-the-vortex question, so that doesn't matter. I guess I wanted some clarification because I used to think that I needed to, when a fear came up, I needed to like do the emotional guidance scale and get rid of it. And then recently I heard you say that it's not your job to clean up your issues, it's your job to ignore your issues. I was wondering if you could speak more on that.
Well, we were talking about the human tendency to want to get to the bottom of something. And you have to have noticed there's no bottom. Because when you focus on what you don't want, law of attraction just says, well, here's some more. Here's some more. Have some more, have some more, have some more. And so the more you focus upon what you don't want, the more you split your energy and the more you lock in to those grids that aren't your central grid. And so it's a wonderful realization to come to that. We appreciated your introducing of the word intended. We've been talking a lot about segment intending because we're just going to give something to you straight out. Your question is really asking for it, so you'll hear it so easily. The best deliberate creating is done in advance, not after the fact. In other words, by intending, or what we have called pre-paving, out there where the air is clearer, you can get momentum going that sets things in motion. But if you wait until you've got something that you don't want, and then you're trying to sort of get rid of that, what happens is you get more invested in it than you do let go of it. And so rather than having a knee-jerk response to things, it's like not segment intending, just sort of blundering is a strong word and pretty appropriate, blundering unconsciously into your day. When you sort of just stumble out there and then let whatever comes and then you get off on a reactionary stance, it's much more difficult. In fact, so difficult that we've been saying, and this may be what you're referring to, just write it out. When something goes wrong, just accept the momentum of it and just write it out and take a nap as soon as possible. Or meditate as soon as possible, or take a walk or a run as soon as possible. In other words, don't try to deal with it. Have you ever tried to clean up an argument with someone? It's not even possible because they're all smarter than you are, or they think they are. And so just let it go, just let it go. But in advance, get ready for the next.
So I've been listening to the tapes and the CDs, and I've been playing with the with my mom in the morning, doing affirmations and this sort of thing. And I noticed that there's a difference between saying the affirmations and saying the affirmations and focusing on the feeling, allowing myself, how does this feel? And that the affirmations help me to sort of be in touch with where my resistance to and joy. You know, joy is, I'd like to feel it. I'd like to feel it. I would like to, there's a bit of a fight, you know, within me.
Well, let's define joy.
Okay.
We would call joy alignment. We would also call fun alignment. We would also call humor alignment. We would also call spontaneity alignment. We would call joy alignment. We would call good timing alignment. We would call acknowledging value in others alignment. We would really call appreciation alignment. So for a little while, reach for other things that are alignment. And then you'll find yourself soon recognizing that you're joyful. Esther said to Jerry the other day, she writes every morning, she wrote, I'm joyful. I'm joyful. Then she wrote, and frankly, it surprises me because I didn't think I was ever going to get back there again. I'm joyful. I'm joyful. Now, it doesn't just swoop over her and linger there.
Right.
It's something that comes when the elephant shows up in the parking lot at Lowe's.
Right.
It's something that shows up when some clever grandchild says some very funny thing with such precise timing. She just cannot believe the brilliance and the timing of their input.
Right. Right.
Joy. It happens in spurts.
Yeah.
And then it happens more often. And then in time it just becomes the basis of your experience. But allow yourself. We like those words that someone was offering just now about the wind blowing as the momentum fills in the grid. In other words, because when you know that you can return to that in time and that it's natural that you will, then you don't freak out if you're not there, you see.
Right.
And alignment comes in many different forms. We think being really interested in something is the most joyful state of being. We think really laughing at something that caught you off guard and is just funnier than anything that you've ever heard in your life is really a strong thing of alignment, but they are very different things that happen under different circumstances, you see. So allow yourself all of that flexibility, and let's call it all joyful.
Okay. All right.
I want to say that there's a joy that is present within you that comes through your intellect, through your clarity, through your focus, and we can see it in your eyes. And so it is our acknowledgement to you. We pronounce you commonly joyful.
Yes.
And if they didn't feel it, they wouldn't react like that. They'd have gone, oh.
Thank you. Thank you. I just wanted to ask one thing. There's something I've heard you say many times, which is to focus on the why. The why. And
Because it's just more general. If you think about what you want and why you want it. I want it because I'll feel good. I want it because I'll feel good. I want it because I'll feel good. I want something really, but when you talk about where it's going to come from and when it's going to come and who's going to bring it, and when you ask questions that you don't have answers, then you move toward frustration.
Right.
Where if you're talking about what you want and why you want it, it's just a more general, more central place.
Because when I think of the why, then I think in my mind something goes, I have to give an excuse, a rationale for I want it or I deserve.
Oh, because you're used to somebody saying, and why do you want that? And why do you want that?
Yeah. Have you done this? Did you do this? Did you do your homework?
Oh, well, they got specific. They got specific. The universe says, why? What is the vibrational underlying reason? Why do you want this? I want it because it would feel good in the having of it. I want it because it would uplift me. I want it because of the benefit that it would provide for me. I want it because I would like to radiate it outward to the boundaries of the boundaryless universe that others might be inspired by it. I want it because it just feels good to think about it. I want it because I've seen others who seemed happy in the having of it. I want it because eventually I know it will come. I want it because I know I'm the creator of my own reality, and I want the benefit of showing myself that I'm the creator of my own reality. Now we're getting a little more specific. I want it because it will feel good in the having of it. I want it because it's fun to get my hands in the clay. I want it because I want to watch the grid fill in. I want it because I want to feel the power of me. I want it because I want to know that non-physical sources or forces are on my side. I want it because I want to know what's in my vortex. I want it because I know it's the natural consequence of my being alive here. I want it because I was born to manifest it. I want it because I'm supposed to be able to be and do and have whatever I want. I want it, all right? I want it. I want it. So you have to be wondering, well, Abraham, there are a lot of things in this world that when I look at them, I feel negative emotion because they are simply not the way I want them to be. And we acknowledge you came to explore and to personally decide what your preferences are. You've chosen this diverse universe. You've chosen this diverse, specific planet upon which you are co-creating. Because in your diversity, there is the opportunity for each of you to come to your own personal conclusions. And once you do, the power of the universe, the power of source energy, the power of alignment will back you up and assist you in the achieving of that. But so often you have split energy about it because you've long ago come to the conclusion of what you want, but you keep picking away at the reasons about why you want it. I want it because that isn't good, and I want it because that isn't fair, and I want it because that doesn't feel good, and I want it because I don't like that. And we say, if you could just leave the I don't want part of it out of the equation sooner, then you would align with what you want, and you would come into vibrational alignment with the power of the universe. If you've been listening to us for a while, and you have, you've heard us offer many different examples in order to help you to get a sense of this vibrational beingness that is all of us. We explained to you that as you sift through this contrast in your human form, that in your observation of what's going on around you, in your focus, in your imagining, in your attention, in your focus is the best word. In your focus, you are emanating vibrational rockets, and they precede you. Knowing what you don't want causes you to send off a rocket of desire of what you do want. And then we explain to you that law of attraction gathers those preferred rockets and holds them in a vibrational holding pattern, really eternally for you, there as a beacon for you to tune yourself into. So this vortex that we've been talking about, some find it difficult to get their thoughts around something that they can't see. It's really the only problem that you have with your physicalness. You are so good at translating vibration into the physical equivalent through what you see and hear and smell and taste and touch, that you want everything to be tangible. You want manifestation to show itself to you right away. And so you sort of count on manifestations to observe in order to adjust the way you feel. If you're observing a pleasing manifestation, you feel good and you say, yes, I would like more of that, please, or I demand more of that, yes. I want more of these pleasing things because when I look at pleasing things, I'm pleased, so please me, you say to your children, to your employers, to your employees, to your friends, to your mates, to your parents. Please me because I want to feel good. I want to feel good. You don't really realize that the reason you do feel good is because you're in complete alignment with all that you really are. And when you're in complete alignment with all that you really are, you're being all that you really are. You don't know that that's why you want to feel good. I want to feel good. I want to feel good. So please me because I want to feel good. And we say, that is so backwards. It doesn't even work that way at all. You must decide that you want to feel good and develop the self-discipline to look in the direction of what does feel good, whether it's past, present, or future. Focus upon what feels good, which means focus upon what's in your vortex, which means focus upon your inner being who stands in vibrational alignment with all that you have become. And when you focus in vibrational alignment with all that you have become, then what happens is you send out a singular vibration, not a mixed bag, know what I want, know what I don't want, a singular, steady signal. And in today's terminology, recently, if you've been listening to us in the last few weeks, we are calling that vibrational alignment, that basis of who you are. It's your vibrational grid. It's the vibrational framework that you were born with. It's this vibrational grid that when you line up with it, when you come into alignment with who you really are, your point of attraction is so powerful that anything that isn't in sync with it just bounces right off of it, bounces right off of it, bounces right off of it. And the good life, the path of least resistance, becomes what you're living. Now, sometimes you say, oh, path of least resistance sounds pretty lazy. And we say, those of you who have been attempting to apply the processes that we've been offering over all of these years would not call it a lazy effort, would you? Because it takes some focus. It's not easy to be in this world with all of these opinions and all of these processes and all of these patterns of life and all of these manifestations, some of which you like and some of which you don't like. It's not an easy thing to be in this interconnected world, and it's more interconnected today than it has ever been. Oh, more now, more now, more now. Things are moving fast. More now, more now, more now. It's moving very fast. Your interconnectivity is moving so fast. And so this is the time, if there was ever to be a time, for you to find your true guidance and align with it, because there is so much opportunity to be called away from who you really are. And when you're called away from who you really are, mostly by your simple observation of the world or of a situation or of a person, when you're called away from who you are, you feel it. That's what negative emotion is.